Alright, everybody, or nobody, it's more accurate. This is a new digital video. I haven't done a video with the voiceover in a while. This was for an art project when I was still going to school, before everything got shut down. For a no, actually it was after it got shut down. I did it at home. What is time anyways? It was a project where we had to pick a art style to try and emulate. I ended up mixing two, one of them just being like a sort of cartoonish street style of this Filipino artist, I believe. I can't remember their name. It was a long time ago when I did this. And a Japanese art style, I believe, called UKIYO-E or UKIYO-E or something. I probably butchered that. The E on the end throws me off. So I really like the style of the Japanese art, where it's very nature-based and it kind of has a flat look to it, like a flat fairy tale-esque vibe, I guess, like the trees and the mountains, and I feel like what everybody pictures when they think of Japanese art. I think it's very peaceful to look at. This illustration is not exactly peaceful. Nobody wants to feel like they're being watched in the woods. But I really enjoyed this. It's a simple illustration with some fun shapes and some clean line work, and that's not something that I do very much, so it was fun to play around with. The way that the trees are done, I think is a part of. I'm saying a lot. I don't usually say this much when I speak. Doing trees like this is a part of the style that I think is really neat. I'm not sure how well I did it, how well I succeeded at emulating that part of the style. But I'm hoping it's accurate enough. This was a piece that didn't take very long at all, and something that I struggled with deciding on whether to add more or keep less. Right now I'm just fixing not fixing, but playing around with the opacity of the ink to try and get like a faded calligraphy look, sorta. And trying out some different digital tools to get texture. I think I was using the Nico brush, which is a brush that comes on Procreate. It's got a cool kind of like paint roller texture, which is nice. I was also going to try and play around with the colors a little bit, because I think it's something that, as an artist, especially as a young artist, it's difficult to remember that things don't always look like the color that they are in different lights. And by that I mean, like, at night, something that's brown or red could very easily look more of like a bluish purple. And that's something that I forget often. And I just shade things and use shading, and I feel like that gives it a messy look occasionally. So this was fun, looking back at it. It's kind of like a reminder to do that more. I'm just erasing where I went outside the lines here with I put probably an airbrush eraser. And also keeping the character in the foreground. Their inking is less opaque, less translucent. There we go. I wanted that's the character that's based off of the street art, because I just wanted to keep it simple. I have difficulty putting all of my soul into school art projects, and so I just wanted to do something easy and simple that was still interesting and would lead to some interesting results that I was at least somewhat proud of. It's not like this is a huge piece. The sky was really fun to do. It took some figuring out, some brush strokes. I think I do end up adding some clouds, but I don't really know how I feel about them. They're kind of weird. I don't know if I like the composition, but they were still fun, and this was the first time I've ever delved into any kind of style like this, with muted colors and muted line art. The birds are very loud today. I personally like the ambiance of natural sounds in videos, but I apologize if that's not your thing. Here we are, we're gonna color in this little demon creature. It's a bright red that will stick out against the blue sky. He's got a weird little flower pattern on his forehead. This one was more of a street art style character as well. And also just my style. I feel like your style's always gonna take a little bit away from trying to emulate an aesthetic of another culture's or era's design tendencies. Also, my style changes like every day it seems, which is irritating. Whoa, alright, everything was red for a second. It's all fine. I'm gonna color the flower. Oh, never mind, his eyes. And then the flower, and we'll get the little details on him done. For a while, my favorite brush to use on Procreate was this brush called Line Art from a free downloadable set, I believe called Kadiri's set, yeah. That has some really nice brushes. Oh, here we go. Here are the clouds I had mentioned earlier. The clouds in this style are very, one for one, super bumpy, and also just very, whimsical. You kind of feel like they almost belong in a Ghibli movie, not quite. Mountains in this art style tend to be shrouded in them, and so I wanted to try and add some of these fun little bubbly meandering clouds. I'm not sure how well I succeeded. I will be coloring them in white, I think, later, so let's hope that the past Corinne did that, past me. I also really like the bright colors that this style uses for the sun, or the sun, I guess. I'm not really sure why I put the sun in a super night blue sky, but it's art. Time doesn't exist here. I'm gonna finish up this mountain a little bit with some, again, still playing around with brushes. This is, I tried to go super minimalistic with the coloring to get sort of like a misty look. Now we're just filling in the background so to give it more depth. And still continuing on with this sort of washed out traditional Japanese nature piece look. And to give some shadows and some sense of foreground and background. In a little bit, we're going to start coloring in the foreground character, but until then, let's enjoy some tree action, let's fill in those babies. They need some more contouring. I don't really know what I'm saying. But yeah, I like to think, of the stories that I can show with illustration. So, I don't know, maybe this demon kidnaps people who walk into the woods, or maybe he just wants a friend, Maybe he's just lonely and doesn't really know how to be how to be friends with someone. But here we are, we're gonna color in the foreground character. This I took a different approach to, as it's a very different style, using just some flat blocks of color. They will be shaded, but fairly minimalistic way of doing it, but in a more cartoony, modern style, with some colors that are definitely not colors that you would find in a traditional Japanese nature painting. You know, those tend to be very muted, as I've said before, and this guy I wanted to be super saturated. So, you know, bright colors, bright purples, bright yellows, some like anime-esque crying eyes. So here we are, we're just gonna shade a little bit, some simple shading. Simplistic shading is still something that I'm trying to get used to, and something that I struggle with. I tend to take things overboard, but I really like how this turned out. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and the birds. That's it.